As the Yankees enter what seems to be an annual phase of early offseason, ever since I was 7 years old, I've kind of gotten accustomed to how the Yankees fans grieve the former season. And we are entering the worst part of that grieving process. We are entering the impulse phase, and it has started in waves, and it has not been helped by exit interviews and contract negotiations that have been going on that have made Yankees fans so fired up that we are going to trade for some of the biggest stars in the sport. What's going on, guys? King of Under 61st, back another video, and let's start with Dave Dombrowski and what he said about Bryce Harper. He went into an exit interview and stated he did not think Bryce Harper is elite anymore. This got Yankees fans into a frenzy. This is divine intervention. We need Bryce Harper. We've always needed Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's a former Yankee fan. This is a match made in heaven. Get it done, Hal. Stop. Bryce Harper will not be a Yankee in 2026, or at least he should not be if we had any common sense. For the first part, Bryce Harper is 32 years old, coming off of Tommy John surgery just 2 years prior. That's not great, but now that he has moved to first base, that wouldn't be such a big issue. But problem number two is that he's coming off of what has been his worst year in the last 5. I'm not saying he had a bad year by any stretch, but a 261 batting average with a 357 on base percentage and a 487 slugging percentage, which equates out to an 844 OPS and a 129 OPS plus. That is the lowest OPS plus he has had since 2019. So there is a chance we are entering the sort of down slope of what is Bryce Harper's prime. I'm not saying he's a bad player right now. This just could be the start of him going from a 129 OPS plus down to a 115 down to a 108. Now we're starting to hedge into average baseball player territory. But the worst part about it is Bryce Harper is still on his 13-year, $330 million contract that is now paying him $27 million until the end of 2028. And he's still under contract for over $23 million until the end of 2031. If you want the Yankees to make any significant moves in off seasons in the future to shore up their rotation, maybe make this a super rotation with Cole and Fried, Rodon. If Schlittler becomes something, you add someone on that back end and you make this a super rotation that could battle the Dodgers. If you want them to actually invest into the bullpen, if you want them to actually get a Kyle Tuck, you have to remember, this is not the Yankees of George Steinbrenner's era. Even though we all want him to go back there, Hal Steinbrenner has made it clear he has a set payroll that he wants to stick to. Paying a 32-year-old first baseman $27 million is not financially responsible. And then on top of that, we have a player that is already on Bryce Harper's level. His name is Ben Rice. Look at Ben Rice's Baseball Savant page and now look at Bryce Harper's Baseball Savant page. Everything is better for Ben Rice. Literally in every single category except for walk rate. Ben Rice barrels the ball better. He hits the sweet spot better. He gets more hard hit rate. He strikes out less. He doesn't walk as much. That's the one thing that Bryce Harper has there. But everything else hedges to Ben Rice. And some of you may look at that and say, oh, we don't care about the advanced analytics. That's what shows you the potential ability of a player. These statistics show you the quality of contact a person makes and what they are expected to do off of that contact. And Ben Rice has done a lot better based off of these stats. Some of you may come back and say, well, Ben Rice might just move to catcher full time. Well, let's look at Ben Rice's defense at catcher. It is abysmal. He would never be able to throw out a runner. We would be giving up stolen bases galore if we had Ben Rice be a full-time catcher. I thought the Ben Rice catching experience was fun for the time being, knowing that Austin Wells was in a slump and Ben Rice needed playing time when you had Paul Goldschmidt playing well. But now Paul Goldschmidt will be gone, off your payroll. Austin Wells will have another year. The Yankees are not going to give up on Austin Wells, no matter how much you want them to. Austin Wells is in over the 90th percentile in framing runs, and in a down year is able to put up an average OPS per Major League Baseball standard. The Yankees are not going to look at that and say, we're going to give up on that in order to get a 32-year-old first baseman and to hand the keys to someone who can't defend the position. No matter what you think of Austin Wells as a player, no matter what you think of him offensively, Austin Wells is a great defensive catcher, and he will get playing time next season. How much playing time? It really depends on how much Ben Rice improves his catching defense and who the Yankees sign in the offseason. If the Yankees actually go out and get a Kazuma Okamoto or a Munetaka Murakami, that cuts into Austin Wells' playing time, not Ben Rice's. So right there are so many issues with the signing or trading for Bryce Harper. If this was a free agency signing, I could talk myself into, okay, Bryce Harper still has it for the short term, give him a 2 to 3 year deal, let him sort of work through at first base, maybe even give him a couple days in the outfield now that his elbow will be fine, and maybe we'll work it out. But trading real prospect capital, because the Phillies are not going to take him for a bag of chips and Oswald Peraza. They're going to need some substantial prospect packages in order to convince that fan base he is now a major part of that fan base's ability to come to the ballpark. The Phillies have to convince that fan base that they won the trade. They're going to need a substantial prospect package to do that. Are you willing to give up Spencer Jones for Bryce Harper? Are you willing to give up a Cam Schlittler for Bryce Harper? I'm not, and the Phillies are not going to take anything less. So I need Yankees fans to stop overreacting to certain rumors, especially because he just went on foul territory, Dave Dombrowski, and shot down any chance of a trade. It's times like this that really give other fan bases ammunition against Yankees fans, because Yankees fans get so focused on the name sometimes. Bryce Harper. Oh my God, that name. We need that. You don't think about the external factors that are involved in getting that done. And that's why I've been a little bit disappointed with some of these Yankees pages that are supposed to be the voice of reason, sort of pushing this. I thought it was common knowledge trading for Bryce Harper would be dumb, but it seems like everyone in Yankees universe has this sort of halo around Bryce Harper that seems to take people back to 2018, 2019 when he was becoming a free agent. We're no longer in that time. This is 7 years later. Bryce Harper's older and we have new blood that is just as good, if not better. But now for the second rumor, this one, I'm going to give Yankees fans credit. We are not overreacting when we say this would be monumental if the Yankees traded for Tarik Skubal. The news around Tarik Skubal is that contract negotiations are not going well. They are separated by what is up to $250 million in terms of an extension. Just to talk about that for a second, the Detroit Tigers are fools if this is actually true. The rumors are that they offered less than $100 million to Tarik Skubal for an extension. I get it. You may want him to take a hometown discount. A hometown discount for Tarik Skubal is at least $150 to $200 million. You are never getting a guy of Tarik Skubal's ability to take anything less than 9 figures. The fact that you offered him less than 9 figures is absolutely embarrassing. And that's going to be part of one of my next YouTube videos talking about small markets and how they really don't exist. These are billion-dollar owners that are making hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. They can afford to give Tarik Skubal what he's fucking worth. Now, back to the Yankees' point of view on this. If these rumors are true and nothing has been refuted when it comes to this is something the Yankees should 100% be pursuing. This is what I'm talking about when I say if you get Bryce Harper, you're hindering your ability to do shit like this. Getting a guy like Tarik Skubal to make this into a super rotation. Once Cole gets back, that would be Skubal at the 1 now, Cole at the 2, Fried is now a third starter and Rodon is a fourth. And Cam Schlittler stays at the 5 starter, where we may not even need a Cam Schlittler in the postseason. Imagine that fucking world where the Yankees get to decide, oh, do we want Carlos Rodon or do we want Cam Schlittler starting in a postseason game? That's the type of shit the Yankees should be going for. If you want this Yankees team to win, those are the types of moves, because we just saw it in the 2025 season. You cannot have enough starting pitching depth. We thought going into 2025, back in that February, that the Yankees had incredible depth when it came to having Garrett Cole. You had now Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Luis Gil, and Clark Schmidt. Take out Clark Schmidt for a lot of 2025. Take out Luis Gil for a bunch of 2025. Take out Garrett Cole for the entire year. And now you're left with a rotation that was Fried and sort of like make it up as you go. Can't win like that. And yes, you can't foresee injuries, but this is where a move like this, getting a guy like this, a guy who will be back-to-back Cy Young winner, unless they rob him for Garrett Crochet. And even then, I'd still consider Tarek Skubal the Cy Young Award winner. A guy who in postseason starts has given you work. This is a proven star who is now, yes, up for an extension. A lot of people don't want to do the whole Juan Soto thing again. This is a scenario where you have to pull the trigger. If there is a deal on the table, you may have to give up some pieces that you are in love with. This is the type of deal you put George Lombard on the line for. I will take Anthony Volpe being my shortstop if we get Tarek fucking Skubal. This is one where Yankees Twitter is not overreacting. The Tigers have now opened possibilities to trades with Tarek Skubal because they're so far apart. And if that is true, we won't know until the offseason opens up. We're only at game 1 or now moving on to game 2 of the World Series. So we don't know what is true about this offseason and what is not. But if that part of this offseason is true, the Yankees need to be front runners in that move. And they need to stay the hell away from Philadelphia and stay the hell away from Bryce Harper. But let me know, am I off base here? Is Bryce Harper really the X factor the Yankees need in order to make it to another World Series? Let me know down below. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the ride, because this is going to be what this offseason will be until free agency begins, gets delayed every offseason until after winter meetings, and until baseball really begins. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.